Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Sustainability Awareness Week of 2022. My name is Dr. Preeti Arya, and I will be discussing about some sustainable textiles that I have shortlisted for you. Before we start, I have a question for all of you, and that is, what is sustainability? It is a big umbrella. I can tell you that, and it can incorporate product and processes. So, as you can see on the screen, a product, process, business, model, or style is considered sustainable if it does not negatively impact the environment, people, and is yet profitable. Well, that's the key there, profitability. So, the concept of sustainability is old. And several scientists in several disciplines have been trying to get the attention of the general public worldwide on this issue. To understand sustainability in textiles, we need to know a few facts about global warming. Global temperatures has risen by nearly 1.1 degrees centigrade since the Industrial Revolution. So what does that mean? That means we are making the planet warmer by running all kinds of machines and factories. Now, nations can duck the 1.5 degree ceiling if they make deep cuts in their greenhouse gas emissions now. The commitments to reduce emissions by the 191 nations that signed the 2015 Paris Climate Accord would permit 2.7 degrees of warming by the year 2100. This is according to a report issued in September by the Secretariat of the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change. That's a group that coordinates ongoing pledges to the Paris Accord. As soon as carbon dioxide emission stops rising, the atmospheric concentration of carbon dioxide levels off and starts to slowly fall because the oceans, soils, and vegetations keep absorbing carbon dioxide, as they always do. As a result, global warming will get into a reverse gear. So, to avoid that threshold, the world can emit only a set amount of carbon dioxide from now into the future. And this quantity is known as the carbon budget. In 2019, the year before the COVID pandemic depressed the global economy, the world discharged about 42 gigatons of carbon dioxide, similar to that of 2018 and to 2021. So now, as you can see on the screen, it shows the impact of global warming. Now, how will a 1.5 degrees centigrade increase impact our lives? Well, there will be extreme weather heat waves. Summer will warm up by up to, say, 3 degrees centigrade, while winters will see warming of up to 10 degrees centigrade in different parts of the world. Many regions are already seeing unprecedented rise in temperatures and heat waves. There will be extreme weather rainfall. Many regions will see an increase in rainfall by up to 30%, and intense cyclones will become a common feature. Frequency intensity of hurricanes and cyclones will increase. And let's not forget about that Florida is still trying to get a grip after Hurricane Ian. Melting of polar ice and continental glaciers, it has already started, will be more rigorous. The sea levels will continue to rise, and it has risen by 6 inches in the 20th century and the last 20 centuries, actually. The ocean temperatures and acidity will also continue to increase, resulting in the disruption of marine life. And this all of this put together will cause an increase in human diseases. I mean, we already have a lot on our plates to fight, and we are always short staffed when it comes to medical professionals. So, rise in human disease due to unstable environment. We have already seen a global pandemic and the world has undergone an economic blow. So, according to the mid range scenario in the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, also known as IPCC, another 500 gigatons of carbon dioxide emission will raise global temperature by 1.5 degrees. Therefore, nations have about 11 more years at current emission rates, that is 2031, before exhausting the carbon budget. To get on track, the September UN report says nations have to cut emissions in half by 2030. So we are not very far. It's 2022. Getting your attention back to the textile industry, ladies and gentlemen, textile industry has played its part in polluting the planet and causing a global warming along with other countries. And this cannot be ignored. Look at this picture, this slide. The Financial Times had reported that fashion brands failed to tackle waste and unfair pay. And this picture is from the desert in Chile, where up to 500,000 tons of synthetic fiber from textiles, they were just abandoned. And we can see it's a very sad picture. Fast fashion has created its impact and not in a very positive way. There are some bitter truths from some manufacturing countries around the world. And you can see here, these are not very glorious pictures of these are the resultants of the fast fashion industry because of increased consumerism, and we are not thinking, we are just driven by consumerism, of course, and availability and greed to some extent. And these are not, again, as I said, very glorious pictures indicating a very, very unhealthy earth. So, how can we improve the textile industry and bring a change? And the answer is very simple, actually, by being responsible professionals of the industry and using sustainable materials as much as possible, by being responsible consumers. So, although there are several fibers which may be justified as sustainable by several brands and reporters and authors, but these are a few that I have shortlisted for our discussion for today. So, organic and recycled cotton. We find cotton as a very comfortable, absorbent fiber, and it's naturally produced. And let me just quickly inform you, organic farmers' soil must be free of synthetic fertilizers and pesticides for at least 3 years to be certified as organic. A lot of farmers, I mean, I visited North Carolina, Cotton Inc. in June of this year and spoke to the farmers and understood their point of view about conventional cotton farming and organic cotton farming. So they have to wait for 3 to 4 years till their soil becomes organic or certified as organic. So that there is no difference in conventionally grown cotton or organically grown cotton, but it's just the growing process. So, natural growers or conventional cotton growers use synthetic fertilizers to grow their crop, whereas organic producers use manure or other organic fertilizer source. But there's a new concept that has actually emerged, and I'm very happy and I also and very proud of people, those who are participating and diligently thinking about innovative ways where we can recycle, reuse what we already have existing on the planet. So recycled cotton is helpful, and I have seen companies that have already cleaned up, I mean, shredded the garment, cleaned the fiber, and again spun it into a yarn. Some companies are even trying to use 100% cotton garments and use it as a raw material for regenerated cellulosic fibers, which is great. There's nothing wrong with conventionally grown cotton. I know a lot of authors, a lot of brands have kind of maligned the name of um, regular cotton, but that's not the case. I still, in my opinion, I feel even that is way superior than petroleum because I can still eat it and still be okay. Then we have organic hemp. Hemp is another, apart from cotton, hemp is another fiber, natural fiber that US grows, and the farmers have indulged into growing these fibers, which is a great achievement for us. Now, it is also the responsibility of the manufacturing industries, fashion or home products or technical textiles, to use these natural fibers. Because if we promote the use of natural fibers, the farmers get benefited, and I'm always in support of farmers. So, organic hemp is very similar to the concept of organic cotton. The soil is organic, is certified organic. So that means there is no use of synthetic fertilizers. Conventional hemp is not bad either. So the next fiber is on my list is organic linen. Similar to cotton and hemp, organic linen also uses organic certification. So the fiber, both conventional as well as organic flax, will look the same. However, it is the growing process that is that decides whether it's organic or not. And not that the conventional flax that makes the linen fabric is any it's bad, but organic is definitely superior because it's not damaging the environment. It's causing very less harm as compared to conventionally grown. And yes, let's promote these fibers. And the next one that I am suggesting on my list is the lotus stem silk. It's very typical to the South Asian countries, especially Philippines and Malaysia. It is expensive, though, because of more demand and less supply. So we should look into lotus farming in other countries, including US, to meet the demands. Something that we can explore. I mean, so far human beings have invested so much in man-made fibers or polymers. Now I think so. It's time that we start investing more into natural fibers and not have them limited to the regions where they are grown. Abaca, it's not that this is something new. I mean, it has been researched by textile scientists for several decades now. But abaca, the beauty of abaca is it can be um, it can be grown in tandem with other crops. It is also the banana fiber, and the fiber and farming both are sustainable in case of abaca because and it is again grown in Southeast Asian countries, and with the with the concept which is gaining momentum called regenerative farming. So, if I have to sum it up with the help of this slide, we have responsibly grown cotton, we have natural rubber, we have hemp, we have flax that makes linen, we have pineapple, rami, kapok. These are all plant-based fibers, and they are sustainable. And so we should consider them, we should promote them, and bring them back into mainstream fashion for our own good and the good of the planet. So now I will start with the protein based fibers, and one of my favorites being wool. And as you can see, the symbol for the responsible wool standard certification that indicates that responsible, that certifies, this standard certifies they meet rigorous animal welfare and land management requirements. And so that's how the wool fiber, the fleece, is sustainable. So it is very important that we look out for more and more certifications. Wool, according to me, is a very superior fiber. It's very elegant. The properties are such that most other fibers don't. So, and that's why a lot of these companies you will see at leisure wear have started to research, and they have started to launch a lot of their collections with merino wool combinations, which gives me a lot of relief that we're heading in the right direction. So that is a good step forward. So we need to make more such progress. So, some of the responsible animal fibers produced in sustainable ways are your responsible down, mohair, llama, responsible wool, silk, cashmere. As long as we have the certifications, we don't have to worry. These fibers are very superior because of their properties that even most petroleum popular petroleum based fibers, they cannot match with the properties and the look and the appearance and the drape and the hand and the feel next to the skin. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, let's give these fibers a chance. Now, so far I talked about natural plant based and animal based fibers. So now I'm just quickly going to talk about a regenerated cellulosic fiber, which is also man made, but the raw material is eucalyptus primarily. So lyocell is considered as an eco friendly fabric. Not only it is sourced from organic and renewable sources, but it is processed via a low energy, low water, closed loop system that recycles over 99.5% of the chemical solvents used in production, with the remaining 0.5% discharged as non hazardous effluent. So, in a way, it is very good as compared to other cellulosics or regenerated cellulosics, which are not very sustainable due to their production process. So if people want to use any kind of regenerated cellulosics, which I call like rayons, I would I would recommend lyocell rather than viscose or cupramonium or model. Another one of my, I won't say favorite, but polymer that got my attention was polylactic acid. So everybody knows polyester, and it's a very popular household name these days. But polylactic acid is also a sort of polyester. Poly means many, ester, so it's the polymeric chain is made out of many ester groups. How is that ester produced? That's the important part. In this case, the raw material can be corn, one of the raw materials, but in petroleum based polyester, the raw material is petroleum. So PLA is a biodegradable. It's biodegradable under commercial composting conditions and will break down within 12 weeks, making it more environmentally friendly when it comes to plastics, in contrast to traditional plastics. PLA is biodegradable thermoplastic polyester produced by condensation polymerization of lactic acid, and that lactic acid is derived by fermentation of sugars from carbohydrate sources such as corn, sugarcane, or tapioca, primarily corn though. It is a good polymer for non-wovens, and that's why you can see that you can flush the wipes that you're using, or you can discard those. So those are biodegradable wipes, and that's because it's made out of polylactic acid. Something we should consider. Now, I already spoke about polylactic acid, but I also want to quickly bring to your attention the some other names like polyhydroxyalkanoates, PHAs, as they're commonly known as, or thermoplastic starches, which can even be used in the production of packaging material. So I feel that we should start looking more into it. Certain produce or the grocery stores have started using biodegradable plastic bags, or they have the no bag plastic bag policy, but what they are using is just to carry our vegetables and fruits is biodegradable plastic. And so we should be demanding more of those at every grocery store and should not be limited to just one grocery store. So it's basically more about our awareness, our conscience, and if we are willing to take this a notch up. So just for information, now, we know that polyester is such a popular fiber and it's not easy, it will not be easy to get rid of polyester. But what we can do as responsible consumers, as people who are pledging to sustainability, as consumers who are pledging to sustainability, we don't have to completely give up on polyester, but we can give up on virgin polyester and still continue to recycle the polyester that is already uh, inhabiting our planet. So, recycled polyester made my list um, for sustainable fibers because that way we will be just cleaning up the planet more, and then we can still keep the properties that polyester polymer has, the wonderful properties, especially durability. I call polyester like it's like the Mystique from X-Men because Mystique could take any shape and form, and polyester has the ability to take any shape and form. I mean, it can be made to look like very much similar to cotton. It can be made to look like silk. It can be made to look like um, hide. It can be made to look like suede and fur and fake furs and wool, whatnot. The list is long. So this is the Mystique from X-Men, according to me. Nylon has several properties which is way superior than polyester itself. And because we can collect a lot of nylon, especially the fishing nets, from ocean plastics, and we should consider recycling them if it's not damaged too much. And we can again use that recycled nylon not just for apparel but also for technical textiles. So, recycled petroleum based polymers should be, if not being used for apparel, should be used for technical textiles or home textiles. Uh, this polymer got my attention because I have been reading about it, and this was very interesting. So this is a jacket which was launched recently using synthetic spider silk. So the spider silk, actually what the spider produces was kind of copied by the lab, and they produce the synthetic spider silk through a fermentation process not entirely dissimilar to brewing beer, but using genetically modified bacteria to make the desired spider silk protein. It's stronger than steel and tougher than Kevlar. It is biodegradable and it will not create a hole in your pocket. So it is affordable as well. So that made my list as two of sustainable products or materials. Now, leather has always been in the news, not just because of its beauty and drape and the tenacity and durability, but also because the way it is processed. And a lot of segments of the world, they try to beat leather down, and yes, to avoid those controversies, several several scientists have always looked into developing different types of bio-based or biodegradable leather, and it's also known as mushroom leather, and it's made from mycelium. It's the underground root-like system of fungi. It's gaining momentum, popularity. A lot of brands have started to pay attention to it, and it's bio-based and biodegradable. So and that saves the controversies of using the natural animal leather. Another one that I have on my list is the fish leather. It is an exotic leather made from the fish skin. This is basically a natural byproduct discarded by the seafood industry repurposed into a luxurious leather by tannery in Europe. Uh, Most probably, they are utilizing renewable hydro and geothermal energy, and their claims regarding sustainability is paying off. It's gaining popularity too, and as I said, people are becoming more and more aware. We are also some of the few people who have pledged towards sustainability and are willing to lead a sustainable lifestyle. That brings me to almost the end of my discussion, my presentation. I talked about the textile materials, some of which that I could shortlist to present it to you. I also want to bring it to your attention that we need to pay attention to how we launder our clothes, what kind of products we are using, how can we minimize the use of resources. So instead of using softeners, we should and we can use wool balls. They are very good in absorbing the moisture and they leave your garments very dry and soft. So, why use chemical when we can use a natural product and they can be equally effective? Instead of using dryers and consuming electricity, we can line dry in good weather. For the washing machine, I feel, and that's what I've started to practice, is using warm or cold wash rather than hot wash. So these are little tweaks that we can make in our lifestyles. Also, as consumer, it is very good that we are moving towards sustainability. We are it's good to be informed, and we should always look for certifications, and if a brand is providing certifications, we should support them, and for those brands who do not, we should ask for certifications. That way we are not just understanding what's going on with the product, we also know that there is a fair wage provided to all the employees, all the workers associated with the supply chain of that product, of that brand. So these were some of the information, some of the materials that I could shortlist for you. I hope you will enjoy. If this was very brief and I kept it very, very simple, if you want to discuss further, please reach out to me anytime at Preeti underscore Arya at fitnyc.edu. Till then, enjoy the Sustainability Awareness Week and stay sustainable. Thank you. Bye.